Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my blush, bronzer, and highlight collection. After pulling everything out, I actually have quite a bit. So I'm just going to go ahead and get into it. I'll swatch some stuff, so I'm going to start off with things that have like a blush and bronzer and highlight in them. So the first thing I have is the LA Girl Spice palette. It has a deeper blush, a lighter blush, a bronzer, and a highlight. So there are all the shades: deep blush, light blush, bronzer, and then highlight. So then the other thing I have that has more than one category in it is this e.l.f. Aqua Blush and Bronzer collection palette, and it is called Bronze Peach, and it has a blush and a highlight. They are cream products, so I don't get a lot of use out of them, but the blush I like more than the bronzer. The bronzer to me is a little orangey. So now that I have the things that have multiple out of the way, I'm going to go into blush. So I'm going to start off with the single pan blush that I have, which I'm not sure what the shade of it is because I had to put a magnet on the back and I think I covered up the shade name. So it's just this blush, and so it's that blush right there. It's a really pretty blush. I just never have actually used it. I don't know how it performs, but that is my only single blush that I have. This next blush I have is by Steve Laurent. It is Rose All Day. So this little brown box has a mirror, and it has a slight sheen to it, and it's more pink. It's like a pinky sheeny blush. And the next blush I have is this Balm. It's by The Balm, and it's Balm Springs, and I assume the shade is called In Full Swing. Just looks like that, and it's like a pink, more pink but peachy-ish toned blush. The next blush is the e.l.f., or not e.l.f., it's the Essence Satin Touch blush, and this is in Satin Coral. So as the name suggests, it has a little bit of a satin sheen, and it's like another pink-ish peachy blush. And then I have this Makeup Revolution matte powder blush in Beloved. I don't really use this that often. It's very creamy, but I think it's too pale of a pink for me. And then I have an e.l.f. blush in the shade Candid Coral. So it's like a peachy blush with a satin sheen to it. And I have another e.l.f. blush in the shade Tickled Pink, and it's just a pinkish matte blush. It has like, well, actually it has a little bit of sheen to it, but not as much as Candid Coral. And then I have the Wet n Wild Color Icon blush in Mellow Wine. This blush needs a little bit of building up, but that's very intense on my hand now. But it's like a peachy-ish tone blush. If you haven't noticed, that's kind of my go-to blush color, is a peachy toned blush. And then I have this Pacifica blush, Coconut Blush Duo, and it has the shades Beaming and Tender Heart. At one point I did break this one. So here's one of them, and here's one of them. This one's more of a bronzery-ish color, but it's not bronzery enough, like it's not bronzy enough for me to consider it a bronzer. The last blush I have is this Tarte Amazonian Clay Blush in Feisty, and it is another peachy-ish tone. Some of these are coming out more pinky than they do when they're on my cheek. Actually, scratch that, that's not my last blush. So this is my last blush thing, and it is this Morphe Blush Trio, and this is in Pop of Peach. So this is shade Influencer, Creator, and Maker. So then I'm going to move into my bronzer. So the first bronzer I have is the Balm Bahama Mama. That is Bahama Mama. Next I have the e.l.f. Sun-Kissed Glow Bronzer It is in the shade Warm Tan. So it is a slightly shimmery-ish blush, and it's a little too orangey for me, so more so I tried it like I would use this as an eyeshadow. Then I have another e.l.f. bronzer, and this is in light matte, so the third one down is light matte. Then I have this Morphe bronzer in Debutante, and this one's very brown and very pigmented, so I have to watch when I use that because it can get really dark really fast. And then my final bronzer is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, and I have mine in light bronzer, and as you can see it's a little bit more gray toned than the rest. So here are all of my bronzers. And the final category I have is highlighters. So I'm actually going to start off with the liquid highlights I have. So the first one I have is the ABH Liquid Glow in Oyster. So this is what it looks like before being blended out, and this is what it looks like after. I have to really work with it to get it to work for my skin tone because it's a little too deep. The other liquid highlighter I have is this Eddie Funkhauser Glow Drops. I don't know what shade it is. It's a very similar shade to the ABH one. Honestly, I feel like those two could be dupes for each other. But actually, I kind of like the Eddie Funkhauser one better because the ABH one has glitter in it. Yeah, those definitely could be dupes for each other. And as far as pricing goes, I have no idea what the pricing of Eddie Funkhauser versus this is because I got this in an Ipsy bag and I don't remember how much this was. So now I'm just going to start pulling highlights. So the first one I have is the Super Shock Cheek by ColourPop in the shade Fire. It's just sort of a gold glittery color. And this is in collaboration with Kathleen Lights, as is this highlight, which is also a ColourPop Super Shock Cheek in On the Cusp. This one's more champagne-y. Then I have a Morphe highlighter in the shade Spark, and this is a high impact highlighter. So third one down is Spark. Then I have this Luna highlighter by Luna Cosmetics in the shade Electra. It's more pinky. Then I have this Makeup Revolution Radiance palette. It looks like this. So here is the lightest shade, the middle shade, and the deepest shade. And then I have this Elizabeth Mott Show Me Your Glow highlighter. And it's a sample one that I got in an Ipsy bag. And this is it down here. Pretty much matches my skin tone. So then I have the Mary Luminizer by The Balm. Then I have another highlighter by The Balm, and it is the shade, I have no idea what that says. And it also could be a eyeshadow. And it's just a very golden highlight. Then I have this IBY Radiant Glow highlighter in the shade Pink Pearl, which is a very pearly highlighter. I have the Essence Pure Nude highlighter, and this is in Be My Highlight. Then the Makeup Revolution Vivid Baked highlighter in Radiant Lights. And I have this Smashbox highlighter palette. It's a Spotlight palette, and it's in collaboration with Casey Holmes. And so it's Turn It On Pearl, Crank It Up Pearl, and Blow a Fuse Pearl. Second to last, I have the Wet n Wild Mega Glow highlighting powder in Blossom Glow, which is right here. That's also the highlight I have on my face. And the final highlight I have is the Wet n Wild Mango highlighting powder in Precious Petals. And I do have stuff that I've taken out of my collection and put away or gotten rid of. But yeah, this is all of the... Ooh, actually, I have one more highlight, and it is a loose highlight. And it is Pink Pewter. That's the brand, and it is Below Zero. that has been everything for my blush, bronzer, and highlight collection. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!